Most people imagine collapse as a sudden explosion, chaos everywhere, people running, sirens screaming. But real collapse doesn't start with noise. It starts with silence. The power goes out. The lights don't come back. Your phone still works, for now. And your brain makes its first mistake. It tells you this is temporary. Psychologists call this normalcy bias, the brain's instinct to protect itself by assuming that tomorrow will look like yesterday. The power will return. Stores will reopen. Someone will fix this. So most people do nothing. They sit, they wait, they watch the hours pass, and without realizing it, they waste the most valuable resource they will ever have after collapse. The first 24 hours. Those first hours are when systems still have momentum. Water pressure hasn't fully failed yet. Food is still available. Movement is still possible. Information still exists. But instead of acting, most people freeze. They charge their phones again and again, refreshing news feeds that no longer update. They look outside, hoping to see signs of normal life returning. They convince themselves that preparing would be an overreaction. This isn't stupidity. It's biology. The human brain is designed for comfort, not collapse. For decades, it has been trained to rely on invisible systems. Electricity, logistics, emergency services, instant communication. When those systems fail, the brain doesn't switch into survival mode. It stalls. As hours pass, the environment quietly becomes hostile. Indoor temperatures drop. Food spoils. Water becomes uncertain. Darkness limits movement. Phone batteries drain. By the time reality finally breaks through denial, people don't feel calm anymore. They panic. And panic is where the second wave of mistakes begins. Under stress, the brain loses a massive portion of its problem-solving ability. Neuroscience shows that cortisol floods the system, narrowing focus and shutting down long-term thinking. People stop planning. They start reacting. They burn fuel for comfort instead of strategy. They eat emergency food immediately instead of rationing. They leave shelter at the worst possible time, hoping to find help. Visibility increases. Noise increases. Risk increases. This is where collapse becomes dangerous. Not because of violence, but because of bad decisions made too fast. The people who survive don't act first. They think first. They accept reality early instead of arguing with it in their mind. They stop waiting for systems that have already failed. They reduce movement, conserve energy, and make deliberate choices. Survival isn't about bravery or strength. It's about restraint. Another critical mistake people make in the first 24 hours is social behavior. In normal life, being visible and connected is an advantage. In collapse, it can be a liability. People gather. They talk too much. They share information too freely. They assume others will behave rationally. But scarcity rewires behavior quickly. Trust erodes. Groups fracture. And chaos doesn't need evil to exist. It only needs uncertainty. Those who survive understand this early. They stay quiet. They stay inside. They avoid unnecessary exposure. They don't rely on crowds. And they don't chase reassurance. The final mistake of the first 24 hours is false confidence. Movies teach us that survival belongs to the bold. Reality says it belongs to the patient. By the time violence dominates headlines, most victims are already gone, lost to dehydration, exposure, exhaustion, and panic. They didn't lose because they lacked tools. They lost because they wasted time. Collapse doesn't kill people immediately. It gives them a window, a short, silent window, where mindset matters more than gear, where decisions matter more than strength, where calm matters more than speed. The first 24 hours decide everything, and when systems fail, your brain can either protect you or betray you.